Welcome back to the channel. Today we are dissecting a video currently circulating online that presents a deeply misleading and sensationalized narrative regarding Ethiopia, Red Sea access, and regional security. In the clip, the speakers argue that Ethiopia's status as a landlocked nation is an existential threat to its sovereignty, claiming that maritime access was stolen through external conspiracies, misquoting popular geopolitical literature, and implying that Ethiopia has an inherently valid right to reclaim the coastline. Today, we are breaking down these statements to expose why this narrative is built on flawed premises, using history, international law, and real-world diplomacy. Let us look at the first argument made in the video.
ኢራን በሆርሙዝ የተፈጠረው ቀውስ አለ ያ የሆርሙዝ ቀውስ ያሳየን ትልቁ እውነታ የባህር መተላለፊያዎች ምን ያክል ወሳኝ እንደሆኑ ናቸው ቀደም እንዳነሳሁት ወደ 1 ትሪሊየን እና የዓለማችን 12% ንግድ የሚተላለፍበት ይህ የቀይ ባህር ቀጠና ከምንም ጊዜው በላይ ደህንነቱ አዳጋች ሆኗል ኢራን ወደ እስራኤል 2000 ኪሎ ሜትር የሚሻገር ሚሳኤል እየተኮሰች ነው አሰብ ከአዲስ አበባ ከ1000 ኪሎ ሜትር ያነሰ ነው በዛ ሁኔታ ውስጥ በኢትዮጵያ ላይ ከፍተኛ የደህንነት አደጋ የትኛውንም የኢትዮጵያ ከተማ ለመምታት የሚያስችል ተወንጫፊ ሚሳኤሎች ባሉበት ምን ያክል ውጪ አደጋ ምን ያክል የኢትዮጵያ ሉዓላዊነት
The speakers attempt to link modern military vulnerabilities, specifically long-range missiles, with being landlocked. They contend that lacking a coastline leaves Ethiopia uniquely exposed to external attacks. This argument fundamentally conflates two completely different concepts: maritime trade route security and national air defense. First, having a coastline does not magically intercept modern ballistic or cruise missiles. Air and territorial defense are managed through radar coverage, integrated anti-missile defense systems, and intelligence infrastructure, none of which require direct ownership of a seaport. Second, over 40 nations around the world are landlocked, including economically prosperous and secure states like Switzerland, Austria, Botswana, and Rwanda. These countries do not face existential collapse simply because they lack direct ocean access. Instead, they safeguard their security and commercial interests through robust international treaties, transit agreements, and bilateral diplomacy. The security of international shipping lanes in the Red Sea or Bab el-Mandeb is a matter of collective international maritime law, not something that can or should be solved by unilateral territorial claims. Moving to the second segment.
አግባብ በሌለውና ስርዓት ባጣ መንገድ እንድናጣው የተደረገ ነው ስለዚህ ቀይ ባህር ላይ ያለን ህልውና እጅግ በጣም በከፍተኛ ደረጃ ልንጠብቀው እናስብበት የሚገባ ነው ከደህንነታችንም አኳያ ደግሞ ካለው ሁኔታ አኳያ ዛሬም የምናየው የሉዓላዊነት ጉዳይ ስለሆነ በጣም አሳሳቢ ነው
The speakers claim that the Red Sea historically belonged to Ethiopia, asserting that Ethiopia is the world's only self-made landlocked nation that lost its sea access through an unlawful process. The claim that Ethiopia was stripped of its coastline through an unlawful or artificial process completely ignores established international law and African continental consensus. In 1964, the Organization of African Unity, now the African Union, established the foundational principle of UTI Possidetis Juris, which mandates that post-colonial borders in Africa must be respected as they existed at independence. This policy was explicitly created to prevent endless territorial wars and regional instability across the continent. Furthermore, Eritrea's independence in 1993 was formalized following an internationally supervised United Nations referendum, which was formally recognized by the UN, the OAU, and the international community at large. Framing Ethiopia as a self-made landlocked nation relies on revisionist history that dismisses the formal legal dissolution of the former federation. Reopening settled sovereign boundaries under the banner of historical entitlement undermines the entire framework of international law that protects all sovereign nations, including Ethiopia itself. Now, let us address the claims where the speakers bring up author Tim Marshall and his book, Prisoners of Geography.
Prisoner of Geography ሲል ቲም ማርሻል ወደ 10 ማፖችን ያስቀምጣል ከአስሩ ማፖች አንደኛው ፕሪዝነር ኦፍ ጂኦግራፊ ላይ ኢትዮጵያን ያስቀምጣታል ውስጥ ኢትዮጵያ የጂኦግራፊ እስረኛ አድርጎ ያስቀምጣታል ጂኦግራፊ ያሰራት ሀገር ነች ይላል ፓወር ኦፍ ጂኦግራፊ ላይ ሲመጣ ደግሞ ኢትዮጵያን ያስቀምጣታል በናይል ምክንያት ጂኦግራፊ ፓወር የሰጣት ሀገር ነች ይላል ስለዚህ እኛ እስረኛ መሆንን እንመርጣለን ወይስ ጉልበታችንን እንጠቀማለን ጂኦግራፊው የሰጠንን ጉልበት ተጠቅመን ከእስረኝነት እንወጣለን ወይስ እንዴት የትኛውን እንመርጣለን ምክንያቱም ማርሻል ሲያስቀምጠው ሁለቱንም ጎን ለጎን ያስቀምጠበት ምክንያት ፓወሩ እስር ቤቱን ለመስበር መጠቀም ይኖርብሃል
The speakers argue that geography traps Ethiopia and that Ethiopia must use its water power over the Nile to break out of its geographical prison and claim access to the Red Sea. This is a fundamental weaponization and misreading of Tim Marshall's work. In Prisoners of Geography, Marshall uses geopolitical determinism to describe the physical constraints nations inherit. He explains why geography shapes history, not how nations should rewrite international borders by force. When Marshall identifies a nation as a prisoner of geography, his core thesis is that physical realities, like landlocked terrain, mountain ranges, or climate, are permanent fixtures that governments must intelligently adapt to through infrastructure, cooperative trade, and diplomatic alliances. He never frames geographical constraints as a legal or moral justification for violating the territorial integrity of sovereign neighbors. Distorting Marshall's analysis to argue that Ethiopia should use its leverage over the Nile water flow to force concessions regarding the Red Sea flips descriptive geopolitical observation into aggressive political posturing. Using hydro-leverage over downstream neighbors to demand sea access turns a physical geography reality into a zero-sum conflict, directly contradicting the very lesson Marshall preaches. That long-term stability comes from economic cooperation within geographic constraints, not from aggressive territorial revisionism. Finally, let us analyze the claims where the speakers assert that Cairo orchestrated Eritrea's separation specifically to keep Ethiopia weak, landlocked, and incapable of developing its Nile water resources.
ግብጽ ኢትዮጵያ የባህር በር አልባ እንድትሆን ያደረገችውን ጥረት ስትወስደው ግብጽ የሉና የመሰረቶች ሁለት ነገሮች ናቸው ብላ ታምናለች። አንደኛው ናይል፣ ሁለተኛው ስዊዝ ካናል። የኢትዮጵያ ባህር ኃይል በነበራት ጊዜ አትሊስት የባብኤል መንደብን ቀጠና ሰላምን መቆጣጠር የሚያስችል አቅም ነበራት። ስዊዝ ካናል ያለ ባብኤል መንደብ ሬሌቫንሱም ሲግኒፊካንሱም አደጋ ውስጥ ነው። ባብኤል መንደብ ሰላም ካልሆነ ስዊዝ ካናል፣ ስለዚህ የባብኤል መንደብን ዕጣ ፈንታ የሚወስን የኢትዮጵያ ባህር ኃይል በዛ ቀጠና ላይ መኖሩ የናይል ውሃ ፍሰትን የምትቆጣጠር ኢትዮጵያ መኖሯ ግብጽ ሁል ጊዜ እንደ ስጋት ነው። ስለዚህ ግብጾች በ1960ዎቹ ጀምሮ ሲከተሉት የነበረው ስትራቴጂ በኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ እጅግ ደካማ በናሽናል ኢንተረስቱ ላይ ወይም ደግሞ በናሽናል ሴኩሪቲ ላይ ትኩረት የማያደርግ መንግስት አዲስ አበባ ላይ ኢትዮጵያ ባህር አልባ ስትሆን ኢኮኖሚዋ ቮልነራብል ይሆናል፣ ሉዓላዊነቷ ቮልነራብል ወይም ተጋላጭ ይሆናል፣ አደጋ ላይ ይወድቃል። ስለዚህ ደካማ ኢኮኖሚ፣ ደካማ ደህንነት ያላት ኢትዮጵያ ስትፈጠር ያ ኢኮኖሚ ወንዞቿን የመጠቀም አቅም አይሰጣትም። ለዛ ነው ሻቢያን በማንኛውም መንገድ ተጠቅማ አስመራ ላይ መንግስት ሆኖ እንዲቀመጥ ያደረገችው።
While hydropolitics surrounding the River Nile and Red Sea trade dynamics certainly generate real diplomatic friction between Egypt, Ethiopia, and Horn of Africa nations, reducing complex internal histories to a single foreign conspiracy is wildly misleading. The political transformation and eventual separation of Eritrea were driven by decades of internal conflict, local political movements, and historical governance challenges within the Horn of Africa, not simply a plot dictated from Cairo. Suggesting that Ethiopia's landlocked state is purely the result of external sabotage serves to sensationalize the issue and stir up nationalistic sentiment rather than address actionable realities. In the modern era, long-term economic growth and security are achieved through regional integration, port use agreements, and mutually beneficial trade partnerships with neighboring sovereign states, such as commercial arrangements with Djibouti, Somaliland, Kenya, or Eritrea, rather than through hostility or questioning neighboring sovereignty. In summary, sensationalizing maritime access as an immediate existential threat and misquoting geopolitical authors to justify territorial expansion distracts from practical, legal, and diplomatic solutions. Ethiopia's economic future relies on constructive diplomacy, regional trade alliances, and respect for international law, not on revisionist claims that risk destabilizing the entire Horn of Africa.
Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more objective geopolitical analysis. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.